you have all reason to be proud. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. And we are, of course, as all of our institutions, zoos and aquarium are scrambling to develop different types of documents and strategies on conservation. We're collecting all of those examples we can get, so please send us your strategy. And I think we'll be very interested in that color coding as well. So, sounds good. So, next up is František Privišk. For those who cannot pronounce that, like me, I took years and years practicing, and we know each other a while. But he also responds to Panda. You probably don't want anybody to know, but that works. So, you'll tell us about Ostrava and your progress here.
So good morning everyone. I'm pleased and honored to tell you something about our conservation strategy because it was a few years ago when I was attending, I think it was in the Tallinn, in the Conservation Forum in Estonia, where I first time heard about the conservation strategy. So it was, I was there and someone said about, yeah, zoo has the conservation strategy, and I said, well, right, we do conservation and we should maybe have some strategy. Since that time we are creating something. My presentation is not really long, it will be shorter than before, I think. Our strategy is not really any rocket science, it's more about motivate those of you who don't have the strategy maybe, and show you that it doesn't have to be really difficult, because it can be, it's more about just to start something, and then things somehow develop. I don't have any pointer, should I have it? Okay, but on the first, I would like to tell you something about the Ostrava Zoo, so you can know what our possibilities and our background. And maybe you don't know it yet, and we are here, so you should know it. So the zoo was established in 1925. We are quite big, second biggest zoo in Czech Republic. We have almost 100 hectares, and it's placed in the Great Ostrava Forest. That's also why we are also botanical garden, so not only zoological garden, and if you have enough time, just spend some time in the forest and you will forget that you are actually in the zoo. We have 140 employees, over 600,000 visitors every year. We are housing 7,000 animals across 450 species. Since we started with releasing animals to the wild, it was already over 700 that we provided to different organizations, or we released them by ourselves. We support over 20 projects already, since we can, in 4 continents, and we have conservation strategy since 2021. So it was not long time after the Tallinn Conservation Forum. Ostrava Zoo is changing pretty fast. You can see we are improving places for animals. One of example that is one of the best, I'm always using it, from really concrete place to Chitwan enclosure, where you can see together Asiatic black bear with northern plains grey langurs in 1 hectare enclosure. Sometimes you will not see the animals, and that lot of our visitors are complaining about it now. So first they complain they are in small cages, now they complain they cannot see them in the zoo, but yeah, we are more happy with this. Of course, we are improving a lot of the pavilions for animals that cannot be just the outside. Some service for the visitors and the kids, of course, because we have a lot of kids coming to the zoo, same like you. Because we are botanical park, we have also quite a big complex of greenhouses. So if any of you is more to the plants than to the animals, you can visit the greenhouses. I think so, right? We improve also some conditions and welfare for our employees. That's inside the entrance area, and we have the conservation strategy. So conservation strategy, we have it few years, and I don't have the structure here because the structure is more or less same like Caroline showed you just now, but just few highlights. We have some vision, and vision is to be alongside with you, with most modern and progressive zoos, and do conservation in the best how we can, and supporting the protection of endangered species both in situ and ex situ. And of course we want to meet all criteria for welfare, and because of that we have the mission. Mission is because we have very nice place. Again, once you will be in the zoo, I think you will see that that's pretty nice place to have the zoo in the forest, and we want to highlight that zoo can be not only for keeping the endangered wildlife, but it can be also to support the local wildlife, because we have quite a lot of projects happening also inside the zoo. And of course the zoo is here still for visitors, so we want to somehow improve the all service and education awareness that we are doing for visitors and conservation education. Our focus, I'm jealous about €1 because it's much more than we can have. Because of that we don't have huge budget to support big charismatic animals that usually need big budgets for big projects. That's one of the reasons why we choose that we will more focus in our strategy to charismatic species, but same time often overlooked species that don't have too much attention of other organizations. Of course, also we try to connect the ex situ with in situ, so we want to support a project that we keep in our zoo, but not only, of course, because there is also a lot of projects that we supported already before we had the strategy, and we have really good experiences, and we trust them. We want to continue support them, and we will not stop just because we don't keep the animals in the zoo, or sometimes it's even impossible. We don't have limits in countries, on continents, countries or regions. And our focus is also on Czech Republic, as I mentioned. We have even one, you will meet him, his name is Ota, great guy who is doing a lot of things for wildlife in the zoo. He's restoring, creating and protecting original natural habitat and the native species that we have in the zoo. A lot of fish things, reptile things, bird things, and you can see it. And also we are supporting Czech conservation. That's I will also not tell you details because those of you will stay until Saturday. You can see one of the projects, the Cosmic meadows that we are supporting for a few years, and they do great job for conservation of Czech wildlife. Our tools, of course, direct financial support, staff time, that's important for part of our conservation effort, and I'm one of the example because I'm still staying 8 to 9 months out of the zoo somewhere in Asia, and I can do it because of the zoo. So I'm telling it to the people, when I meet someone that I can do this just because of the zoo. Otherwise I would not be here. If I'm not here, this project or this organization is not existing. And that's like clear for someone who I'm telling it that zoos can do the things. But I'm not alone. The zoo has more people doing these things. Of course, we support the projects by equipment or some materials is needed. Yesterday we spoke about these possibilities with people from Riga Zoo. We do education and fundraising and also diplomatic activities, because this is, I don't have to tell you, but EASA is doing a lot of diplomatics and lobby work, which is really important for zoo community. We have and support research, and I just pointed out because part of our conservation strategies also do or promote ex situ, because it's in connection with in situ, of course, but I will not speak about the details about our ex situ conservation strategy, because we try to connect it, but this is about the ex situ. A little bit about the promotion of zoo mission and our strategy, which is part of conservation strategy of our zoo. Of course, we do social media and website. Simple, right? Press releases. We do a lot of things in our zoo area, so usually if you are the visitors, before you enter the zoo, there are the boards, and then you will read zoo support conservation. Then you get the tickets, not always, but in the ticket is by your entrance, you are supporting the conservation. Then you enter the zoo, and there is the big signboard, and by your entrance you support this project and this project and this project. And then, like we trying to do right for the visitors, because it's not too easy to educate the visitors always, because they are not coming to the zoo to read, learn something. Usually, most of them, they are coming to have the fun. And one thing that we are starting to do now is the documentary series about zoo in conservation. Documentary series is called On Earth for a While. It's kind of poetic name. And the title is Zoo as the Modern Wildlife Conservationist. We decided to do this because I had it personally, but I think once I started to speak with our zoo director or every colleagues, we feel it kind of similar. We still are struggling with the general public, with the fact that they don't know that zoos do the wildlife conservation. Just simple, really, like when I am traveling to somewhere doing the conservation, the people are smiling, yeah, you do a good job. How you are paid, like, how can you do it? And say, I work for the zoo. The face is like this, always. And I want to explain to the people, or we want to explain to the people that zoos do the conservation, and this strategy, this documentary series, which is part of the conservation strategy actually for promoting our conservation effort, is connecting the zoo to wildlife conservation projects. So every episode of the series has some connections to one topic, in situ, ex situ, releasing the animals from the wild, biodiversity things, blah blah. Like each episode has one topic, and it's connecting the zoo with the project. So it's not only about the zoo, like the secret of the zoo, which you can see in the Animal Planet, where they are solving the sick animals. It's not about the project only, where you see the project, but you don't see the connection to the zoo. It's connecting it together. If you want, and most of you have to, because it's part of the session, tomorrow there will be screening of the pilot episode. Tonight we have to still finish the English subtitles, so hopefully it will be finished. But you will be one of the first who will see the pilot episode of this, so you can have idea how it looks like, and we will have time to talk about it. But back to the strategy itself, as I mentioned, our strategy is not really difficult to understand. It's more about have something, to think something about something complexly, and but what I can see, because again, we don't have €1, we have now 5 Czech crowns, and that's really great news. We use you actually, to be honest, because we knew here is as a conservation forum. That was the one weapon to the politicians to say that yeah, we are really good. They are coming from all around Europe to here to see what we do. But we could do more. What about to? It's not like easy like that, of course, but it helps. And then thank you very much again for choosing our zoo as the host of this conservation forum, because thanks to this we have more funds for conservation. So I still have it since 2016. I still have it 3 Czech crowns and 5 hopefully soon. So news they decide, so they could tell it here today. I'm happy about it, and I'm grateful to them, because We have really nice politician support and relationships. We supported already more than 23 projects. This is the amount of the money that we distribute so far since 2016. But it's not only. You wanted to take a picture? Put it back. Sorry, I'm too fast now. We do some evaluation, of course, and monitoring of the project that we support. It's simple like this. We have some template which we distribute to the project that we support. There is just a description of the project. We want to see some use of the funds. We want to see some photos so we can connect it and promote at the same time. And then we keep the communication with each project every year through the year. The project that we support more, of course, is more intense. Project that we support less, it's not too intense, but we support. We communicate with all of them, and we have some feedback also for politicians, because it's important, and also for us, for promotion, as I mentioned. Staff time, since this year, also Conservation Forum plays some role in this, but not 100%. We wanted already a long time, and like with the strategy we realized that we could have conservation department, in situ conservation department. So we established it few months ago. We have 5 people. We didn't get new people, but most of them were already working in the zoo somehow, but they got their department now. We have some people who are most of the year out of the zoo also. One of them is Marketa doing the crane research and conservation, which you can see her here today, but also on the picture. She's working for us. We have other people who are more based in the zoo. We cooperate, of course, with other departments. It's always important. And we have, for database, it's important, at least 6,000 hours of staff time for in situ conservation per year. That's quite a lot, and again I told you it could be even more than money, the funding, the money support. We do some more things so we can increase our in situ budgets. We organize charity runs. We had already 7 years of charity runs. We have always more than 1,000 runners. We do it together with Vítkovice Athletic Club, which is organizing professional athletic competitions. So we can also, like Wrocław, do the wild run, similar thing, really good way how to raise funding. Because every year we can support different projects from starting fee, and we already distribute almost 50,000 euro from these charity runs only. We have public collections. One is already finished for elephant disease and research. One is still running for pangolin conservation. Another thing, so free check grounds, staff time, charity runs, called public collections. We do international days and conservation days. It's about education, of course, awareness about connecting ex situ and in situ. This is space for NGOs, presentation and fundraising, and that's it. I just wanted to tell you that it doesn't have to be complicated, it's just about to start and be creative somehow, use sources that you have, resources that you have, and then you can be hero from zero. Thank you for your attention.